Have you ever wondered why some people act older than their age? Why some people stay distant, even from those who care? Or why some people grow up with a strength that feels almost unnatural? Well, many of these behaviors can be traced back to something hidden. They grew up without parents. In today's video, we are diving deep into the 7 powerful psychologies of people who grew up without a mother, a father, or both. And trust me, some of these will surprise you. Stay with me till the end, because the final psychology is the one most people never talk about. Yet it shapes their entire adult life. First psychology, silent independence. People who grow up without parents often learn independence earlier than anyone else. Not the cute, I can do it myself type of independence, but the survival kind. They grow up believing that no one is coming to save them. Problems must be solved alone. Asking for help is a sign of weakness. This creates a personality that can function extremely well under pressure, but also hides pain deeply. They might never say it out loud, but in their mind, they repeat the same sentence. If I don't do it myself, it won't get done. This kind of independence makes them reliable, strong, and disciplined, but it also makes it hard for them to lean on people emotionally. Psychology 2. Emotional walls. When a child grows up without parents, they learn early that love can leave. So, instead of letting people in, they build walls. They love carefully. They trust slowly, and they reveal their emotions only when they feel completely safe. This is why many of them appear strong, cold, or distant. But the truth is, they are protecting themselves from being abandoned again. They fear emotional closeness because closeness means vulnerability, and vulnerability once hurt them. Okay, there was a boy who never asked for help. Let me tell you about Michael, a boy who grew up in an orphanage. When he was 9, the school organized a project where children had to build a wooden car. Other kids ran around asking teachers for help, but Michael sat alone, trying to cut the wood with his tiny hands. A teacher walked up and asked, "Why don't you let me help you?" Michael simply replied, I don't want to owe anyone anything." He wasn't rude. He wasn't proud. He just grew up believing that help always comes with a cost. And sometimes, that cost is losing someone. This is how emotional walls are built. Essentially, psychology. 3. Hyper-maturity. People who grow up without parents often become mature earlier than expected. They learn adult responsibilities as children. Cooking, managing money, taking care of siblings, solving problems they should never have faced at that age. They skip the childhood stage and jump straight into survival mode. So when they grow up, people say, "You act older than your age. You are too serious." But this seriousness is not a choice. It's a survival skill that became part of their identity. Psychology 4. Overthinking everything. Growing up without parents makes the brain constantly alert. They think about everything. What if things go wrong? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if people leave me? Again, because they had no one to guide them, they always prepare for worst-case scenarios. This makes them smart and strategic, but also anxious and restless. They don't just think, they overthink, and sometimes they live more in their mind than in the real world. End. Talking about girl who never slept peacefully. Amara grew up living with relatives who constantly reminded her that she wasn't their child. Every night before sleeping, she would think, What if they wake up tomorrow and tell me to leave? What if I have nowhere to stay? What if I become a burden? By the time she was 16, she was already acting like a 30-year-old woman, always planning, always worrying, never relaxing. This is the reality for many people who grew up without parental stability. Their mind never stops planning because their childhood taught them that life can change overnight. Pod. Psychology 5. Fear of being a burden. People who grow up without parents hate feeling like they are inconveniencing others. Fear of being a burden. You may hear them say, "Don't worry, I'm fine." Even when they desperately need help, they refuse to ask. Why? Because deep inside, they believe, if I become a burden, people will leave me. This makes them carry pain silently, even when it destroys them. Over the times they go through death, they guard themselves from, often have an unusually soft heart. Because they know what loneliness feels like, they show compassion easily. They understand pain. They care deeply. They value friends like family. They become protectors of the people they love. Their hard experiences create a soft heart. And when they love fiercely. And when they love fiercely. But when he became an adult, something remarkable happened. He became the safe place for everyone around him. Friends told him their secrets. Strangers trusted him. People cried on his shoulder without fear. Why? Because he knew what it felt like to have no one. So he decided that no one around him would ever feel that way again. Pain shaped him into a protector. Psychology 7. Fear of abandonment. In the deepest psychology, people who grow up without parents often carry a silent fear. Everyone I love will eventually leave. This fear affects their relationships, their friendships, their confidence, their self-worth. It makes them suspicious, careful, or emotionally guarded. They love deeply, but they also fear deeply. Sometimes, they even leave people first, just to avoid being left again. Growing up without parents shapes a person in ways the world cannot see. They become strong, but carry hidden wounds. They become mature, but crave a childhood they never had. They love gently, but fear deeply. If you know someone who grew up this way, treat them with patience and empathy. And if you are one of them, just remember, your story made you strong, your pain made you wise, and your heart made you human. You're not broken. You're best. Hey, hit the like button and subscribe.